What's up, comic book fans, and welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me, and today we got more of the Saber Tooth War. This time by way of Wolverine number 43, and I'm gonna let you guys know now that by the end of this issue, Wolverine and crew are gonna get some extra help with their so-called Saber Tooth problem. And if you guys need to get caught up with this war, I'm going to put a card up at the top of the screen, and there'll be a link to the playlist at the end of this video. But as always, here's a quick little refresher for you guys. After recruiting alternate universe versions of himself, Sabretooth and his crew decided to go back to Krakoa for some revenge on Wolverine and the rest of the mutants. But when they arrived, they found that everyone had already fled from Krakoa. But unfortunately for Quentin Quire, aka Kid Omega, when he volunteered to travel back to Krakoa on a rescue mission, he was caught and torn apart by these vicious Sabertooths. Sabretooth then was able to use some new stolen Orchis tech to locate the rest of the mutants at their new greenhouse base in the North Pole, where Wolverine's son Fang became another one of their victims. Then, as Wolverine had gotten strung up with adamantium by these Sabertooths, the greenhouse quickly became overrun. But not wanting to wait around for Laura Kinney to be the next victim, Logan took a page from the Saw movies and he cut his limbs to escape. But when he got back into the greenhouse, the issue ended as he screamed for Laura. So if you guys want to find out what happened with Laura, then you know what time it is. Let's get it. So the issue starts off with Sabretooth, who's reminiscing about the old days when he and Logan were Team X teammates. Because like he says, nostalgia is a hell of a drug and pretty much the only one that he isn't immune to. And here's where we kind of get an idea of what it is that he's after when he says that sometimes you don't know what you've got till it's gone. Then we transition to current day as he's getting chewed out by Savage Tooth for the deaths of Pretty Tooth and Cap Tooth. And then he's challenged for supremacy by Camel Tooth, who ends up getting his ass handed to him by Creed. All while we see an imprisoned Laura Kinney onlooking and taking some mental notes. So after the fight with Camel Tooth, Creed heads to his quarters. And that's when we see him talking to that lantern type device that we saw him using earlier in the series that helped him locate the greenhouse. And we find out that someone is in that lantern, at least a part of someone. Because when Creed asks it to show him Logan, and then he asks this lantern about Logan's state of mind and how he's feeling, the lantern replies, "You mean killing his son and beheading me? I don't understand what's happened to me." And then Sabretooth tells him that, well, technically speaking, you're dead. But Orchis was experimenting with ways to make use of mutant components. Imagine going into war with Cyclops' head mounted on your tank. And the tech itself limits your autonomy. I've had time to learn how it works. And you're my beta test. Now answer my questions. And we then find out that it's the head of Kid Omega inside of it. As Sabretooth says to him that you can read his mind. Is he gonna bring the troops or come by himself? And Quentin tells him that he'll come alone. He won't risk anyone else. And this pleases Sabretooth, who then decides to get him a little cat nap. Pun intended. Meanwhile, as Quentin's head goes to sleep, a psychic signal is sent out. Then we see that it's sent to Oya of the Exiles, who immediately sees everything that happened to Quentin. So then she runs to go see Third Eye, who's able to decipher what Oya just experienced, and he lets her know that it wasn't a dream, and your friend is dead, but a part of him still lingers. Then he uses his ability to project what happened for Necra to see, but she's kind of hesitant about acting on it. Then we transition back to the Orchis space station with Savage Tooth and Camel Tooth after Camel Tooth's ass whooping at the hands of Victor Creed. And here's where Laura Kinney tries to get into the heads of these variants by calling them betas. But Savage Tooth, she ain't having it. So she has one of the headless drones gas Laura. And we find out about another piece of Orchis tech called the Essence of Leech. And if you don't know, Leech is a mutant with the power to temporarily negate the powers of another powered being. So Orchis having turned his powers into a gas, man, y'all, that's pretty sick. And as Laura is now feeling the effects of this gas, Savage Tooth goes inside and straight up rips off Laura's jaw and then takes out her tongue. Ouch. I guess we see now why she's the savage one. But then she tells Camel Tooth that although she couldn't stand to listen to X-23 any longer, she kinda was right. You and me are playing low status, and I'm sick of it. All us Saber-tooths were hunted across dimensions, captured, many killed, then turned into those headless drones. All by one man who holds a real grudge against our dear leader. And y'all, she's talking about Graydon Creed, the son of Victor Creed. But Camel Tooth reminds her about the events of Saber Tooth and the Exiles #5, where they ejected Graydon into another dimension, but they don't know where. And Savage Tooth decides that they need to find a way to track him. But Camo then tells her that Graydon wants to kill all of us. He's like a bomb that could go off without warning. And she replies, we just have to plant it right. Then don't stick around for when it explodes. But let's keep this between us. Then we go back to the Exiles, and they're all discussing what to do about Sabertooth's resurfacing. And Necra then reveals the killing seed given to her by Doug Ramsey when they had escaped the pit. He had told her to use it on Sabertooth, but at the time she hesitated because she didn't know what it would do. But now, she doesn't care anymore. And she says to the rest of them, he's got an army, but we've got a team. The Exiles are going to war. So now we transition back to Victor Creed as he's dreaming again about the good old days teamed up with Logan, where it's revealed that he wants to break down who Logan is now and get him back to the real Logan, the one who loved war. But then he's awakened by the head of Kid Omega, who's having trouble hiding his thoughts in this new state that he's in, even while he's sleeping. And Creed can now see that he's trying to keep a secret, but he can't help but to project it. And it appears to be a map, as a sleeping Quentin is just spilling all the beans. And he says that this would cook Logan's goose for sure. Then he tries to quiet himself from snitching, but now it's too late as Creed sees this map and he grins from ear to ear and says, looks like we're going on a treasure hunt. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the issue. Man, so what did you guys think of this issue? It was a little bit slower than the last two, but we got some valuable, much needed information from this one. That what Sabretooth really wants is to get his war buddy back. In his twisted mind, he feels like Logan is always sad because he misses their time together. And if he breaks him down, then he'll have no choice but to come back. And this Orchis tech, man, y'all, this is crazy. The fact that it can still control parts of mutants even if they're dead is insane. And that leech gas, man, you would think that they could have used that technology to wipe out the mutants quick, fast, and in a hurry. And seeing it used on Laura to get her jaw straight up ripped off, sheesh. But as much as Victor Creed is doing to get to Logan, he's got no idea what's coming for him. His own team is plotting against him to bring back his son. And now the Exiles are coming for him and they got a killing seed. And not to mention the ferocity that Logan is about to unleash. That Berserker, if you thought you seen Berserker rage before, I'm sure we ain't seen nothing yet. But man, I'd hate to be Sabretooth right now. But I'd like to hear from you guys about how you're feeling about this Sabretooth war so far and where you think it's heading. Will Sabretooth meet his end, or will he find some way out of this? And do you guys think that Laura will walk away from all this as well? But as always, if you enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you could do so by joining the new channel membership called the Iconic Fan Club. And with it, you'll gain access to and be a part of weekly live streams, loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and more. Or you can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do these, then you can still be a tremendous help to the channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out. Peace.